Hey folks, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Saurabh Pol. Welcome to Pol Ke Bol. Today I'm going to talk about why B2B marketing does not get the respect it deserves. Very simple. B2B marketing, if you don't know, is not as respected either by sales teams, even within B2B companies, by product teams within B2B companies, or even B2C marketeers themselves. CEOs do not look at a B2B marketing team and feel enthusiasm. Many of them look at B2B marketing teams and feel, cost center. We are looked upon as a cost center, which is the reality, whether you like it or not. We are an expense until proven otherwise. We are not looked upon as an investment. We are looked upon as a risk. Now, when I was in college, I was taught that wow, marketing, like it's one of the most, important pillars of, any company, any organization. And even within B2B, okay, B2C is much more exciting because it is much more creative, it's much more nimble. But even B2B is extremely important, right? You join B2B marketing and then you realize you are treated like a digital makeup artist. And my ego didn't take it well, my self-respect didn't take it well when it happened with me. But over a period of time, I didn't get used to it, but I accepted this is the reality, but there is a better life out there. There are places where B2B marketeers are given much more respect. There are industries where B2B marketing is much more relevant than certain industries. And when I realized that, I worked really hard to reach that point until I reached B2B SaaS, which is where I am right now. And I'm in a SaaS product company, product SaaS. And nothing unique, right? Like there are millions like me, let's be frank. If not millions, like hundreds of thousands. So as a marketer in a B2B SaaS company, I see that hey, this is probably the best it can get for B2B, right? Because we are so similar to B2C at this point. Everything they do, we do, right? I'll make a video on that, right? I'll make a video on that. And it's not like B2B is now important because oh my god, like our more fancy cousins B2C, we are just like them now, we're just like them. Now you need to respect us. No, there's a reason we are business to business and there's a reason they're business to consumer. They're direct. We are not as direct, not at all times. Like there is a self-serve motion, no doubt, in B2B, but a huge majority after a point of time turns into enterprise. There is self-serve and then there is sales driven, right? And the sales driven version is where certain parts of B2B marketing really have to work hard, right? And the self serve version is where other parts of B2B marketing have to work hard. Maybe a video on that also. But what I feel is B2B marketing will really benefit if we are very honest about who we are and not try to be someone who we are not, because this is what I'm seeing right now, right? We try to pretend that we are directly impacting revenue. We need to stand and be like, hey, listen, we are not directly impacting revenue. Certain parts of certain pillars of B2B marketing are like demand generation, in some ways, inbound marketing, also content marketing. If at all they can prove it in certain places. So those are the only two pillars that can prove it, right? Events marketing, yes, but not always, right? Because then you will just look at events as a place where that's all you do, right? Like you're just there for lead generation, you're just there for demand generation, you're just there to put things into pipeline, put prospects into pipeline and churn them out. That's it. We need to accept that hey, we are a somewhat of an indirect function. Not every Unfortunately, not everything can be measured, but we need to agree upon standard measurements for a B2B marketing team. Every place I go to, the KRAs, the key result areas for B2B marketing keeps on changing. So I am like, what are you talking about, man? You go to any B2C marketing company, they know exactly the top three, top five metrics they are going to be judged by. B2B marketing, not the case. Even within social media marketing, it keeps on changing. Within product marketing, it keeps on changing. I've had three different meetings in three different organizations where there are discussions. What should be the metrics that we should judge you by? I'm like, you tell me, I don't know. I joined day before yesterday, man. So then I realized, oh my God, if this is happening, it means no one's figured anything out. or at least there's a lot of opportunity. The water is muddled. It means we can actually figure out a lot of things. It means if we play our cards right, B2B marketers can do really well in the next 5 to 10 years. I genuinely believe a new golden age is on the rise for B2B marketing. I personally believe all we need to do is we need to start by accepting who we are and who we are not, what we contribute, what we don't contribute, and we should not look at just like, hey, if you're doing marketing, everything is related to revenue. Like this, I see so many stupid LinkedIn posts on that on this front, right? Like, if you're running a campaign, if it's not for money, why are you running a campaign? Yeah, it's not everything's about money, man. There are some strategic goals too, right? There's some strategic goals too. There's something called as brand. There's something called as content. There are things, right, which cannot be directly attributed to money. They ultimately help with money, but that's the sophistication is lacking, right? B2B marketing, our leadership has not been able to convince the real leadership, which is the CEOs, the founders, the chairpersons, the vice presidents, the board of directors, the investors, the VCs, the banks. We haven't been able to convince them that we are a strategically important function as of now. What is it like? CMOs are the ones with the one CXOs, are those CXOs with the least amount of tenure in today's corporate world, right? And I'm pretty sure in B2B there's even more. There are companies taking out the CMO role. मेरे को कॉलेज में बोला था सीएमओ बनेगा, अभी जाके पता चल रहा है सीएमओ लोग ही हटा रहे हैं. अला ब्रो, ये तो स्कैम हो गया अपने साथ. On a serious note, I remember I was speaking to a B2C marketer, and she laughed at me when she said when I was speaking positively about B2B, and she's like, "You can't be serious. What the hell do you want to continue in B2B? There's nothing happening over there. The only thing that happens is in B2C. What do you guys even do? You make PDFs, you make PPTs, one video here and there, if at all. You put up a landing page someday. Good for you. You're not doing real marketing." This is a B2C marketer saying that to me. And even right now, if you speak to B2C marketers, they are going to say that to you, the honest ones at least. And I appreciate the honest ones. Companies do not know what a brand lift study is. And even if they know, they are like, who the hell is going to invest in that? There are huge parts of B2B marketing that can be brought on to the fore if somehow, like, I at this point I'm not in that senior level, but the day I become a senior, I become a decision maker in the marketing organization, I promise you, I'm going to make a brand lift study, something of, you know utmost importance, which will genuinely measure how a company's marketing is performing, right? Because everything is related to brand. You run a performance marketing campaign, it leads to a brand. It leads to a brand enhancement. It leads to brand awareness, reach, equity building. You do it, events में same होता है. You do even virtual events, physical events, anything you do. Even your salespeople, when they go out there and talk to people, your brand is, expanding. Brand's reach is increasing. Content, it's all about brand after a point of time. But we need to have this whole thing, right? Like, hey, if you're running a company, quarter and quarter performance is extremely important, but so is something called as a strategic investment. Does anyone know one of the biggest companies in the world today, Nvidia, which has kind of kickstarted the AI revolution that we see today with their GPUs, which are graphical processing units? They were about to be sold to AMD. They were about to be sold. Like, at least they was used, not sold. There was going to be a merger. Like, वो हो गया था. They were like, हाँ, इनका तो कुछ नहीं होने वाला. Nvidia ग्राफिक कार्ड बनाते हैं, इनका कुछ नहीं होता. वो और उनका राइवल लोग ऐसा मिक्स हो रहा था. Do you get it? Like, इनका हालत था just like a few years ago. But there was this strategic bet placed by Jensen Huang and other leaders in that company. And now that the AI revolution is here, they are literally a $1 trillion company. A marketing org needs to be run like that, कि आप शॉर्ट टर्म तो देख ही रहे हो, बट आपको लॉन्ग टर्म का भी विजन होना चाहिए. The challenge is when you're a founder, you are not convinced that a marketing team is even necessary or even a marketing person is necessary. You are like, भाई हम पहले प्रोडक्ट बनाएंगे, इंजीनियरिंग वगैरह सॉर्ट करेंगे, सेल्स टीम खड़ा करेंगे, ठीक है, फाइनेंस टीम को रखेंगे एक दो आदमी लोग को, बाकी सब मैं संभालूंगा एज अ फाउंडर, मार्केटिंग देखा जाएगा यार, जब होगा तब होगा, क्या ही गरज है, तो कोई इंटर्न फिंटर्न बैठा देंगे, कोई एजेंसी को आउटसोर्स कर देंगे. This is the mentality of founders, and CEOs. And why would they not? Because marketers have not, B2B marketers have not proven themselves, not convinced people, not convinced the right people that they are an important function. That's the challenge, which is why we don't get that respect. Like, people are like, what do you guys do? What do you do? Like, for how long are people going to keep asking us, what do you do? When are we going to, like, genuinely answer that question? And it's not about, oh, Saurabh is feeling bad that he can't explain what he does, without people being doubly confused. It's okay. Not everyone needs to. But I'm saying the people who matter, they need to look at B2B marketing like, hey, listen, if I persist with you guys, we will succeed. Of course, there needs to be a balance between short term, like, targets that we have and long term gains that we need to make, which means they need to look at our function as an investment. And I think the AI revolution is going to help us. I've made this point in other videos, because as more and more software get commoditized or at least become very similar, the capabilities do not differ as much. What is going to happen is the cost of making software and improving software is going to reduce. So competition, the entry barrier is going to reduce, right? So you're going to have more competition. How are you going to differentiate yourself? Marketing. Hopefully. Hopefully. And when that happens, we should be ready. B2B marketers should be ready to perform, to provide value to the company, both in the short term as well as the long term. I hope this video makes me proud 5 years down the line when I watch it, because I really want to be looked upon as someone who's contributed positively to the growth of a company. I can't do that as a finance person. मेरे को नहीं आता. I can't do that as a legal head. I can't do that as a HR head. I can't do that as a sales head, product head. No. Oh, which brings back me to the point that there are like product marketing teams are sometimes under the product head of product, sometimes under the head of operations. I'm not kidding. And sometimes, like, of course, directly under the CEO. Ideally, it should be under the CMO. How? How are we going to change that? We need to really learn more about the product. We need to really focus on users and customers and prospects. We really, really need to do that. We can't ignore product. कि हाँ, product तो product team देखेगा, तुमको ₹2 का भाव नहीं देंगे वो after a point of time. They'll run away with it. If you really want to, be useful in a company, help everyone who's around you. That includes your salespeople, that includes the product people, that includes even the founders, definitely the internal marketing teams that you have, content team, your events team, your demand gen team, everyone. They should all look at you and be like, thank God he's here. Now our life will be easier. Because if they don't think that, you are already not contributing. I assure you of that. So B2B marketing really needs to prove in the coming years that we are an investment, not a cost center, and only then probably we'll get the we'll get the respect that we deserve. So anyway, hope I said something of use today. If you disagree with me, let me know what you think. If you agree with me, definitely comment and let me know what you think. This was Polkeball on why B2B marketing does not get the respect it deserves. And yeah, that's all from me. Thank you so much. Take care. See ya.